Hey guys, Reno here. So a big misconception is that you need a lot of money to start your own web design business. And yes, I know designers do look fancy with their laptops and all that software, but it's actually not that expensive because I've been doing this for years and I still almost have no costs. So in this video I want to show you how you can start with $0 and even keep the cost low once your business starts to grow. The only thing you really need is a computer, but this can even be an old computer because most of the things we do as a designer happens in the browser and that doesn't require that much from your computer. So let's get started. Level 1. Making money without paying for anything. So here's a counter and let's see how long we can keep the cost at just $0. So what I would do if I had no money is I would just sell designs for a while. And this is possible because Figma, which is the best design tool in the market right now, has a free plan. As you can see right here, and you can have unlimited personal files. It seems like you can only have 3 files, but these are shared files. So I am still on the free account, I have more than 3 files and I can still create a new design file if I want to. And you can even share your designs for free via the link over here. So in the beginning, I just wouldn't start building websites because building websites isn't free if you don't know how to code. And most designers that are starting out just don't know how to code. So then the only option I think you have is just to sell yourself as a freelance designer and make your money in that way. And if you don't have any clients yet, then just go to YouTube, just search for Figma tutorial and then follow one of the projects. Don't just start with the basics, but follow a project and create a fake project which you can then put in your portfolio and you can share that with the people you know. You can do this in real life and on social media. I've always used social media to show the world what I can do, and in this way I always got work. And I say this because I think a lot of people think that you need a portfolio to get started, but that's not really the case. Your social media, your Instagram, your LinkedIn profile can act as your portfolio if you don't have a website yet. Because the goal of your portfolio is to show the world what you can do, and social media is a great tool for that. So this is how I've always done it, but I've also seen people having success with websites like Fiverr and Upwork, which are freelancing websites where you can list your services and then get hired by companies. This all sounds great, but the competition on these platforms is really high compared to when you would just use your local network. Of course, this depends on the country you live in, because in some countries there is more opportunity to make money in your local area than others. So if you really don't know anyone with a business in your area that you can help to improve their design, then these websites I think are a great start. But don't put all your hopes into a platform like this. So I would go for the social media route and then sell my websites for a few $100s at least when you're starting out. So I would just create these kind of posts which I created for Living with Pixels and just show my work in this way and then sell my designs. For a beginner, I would advise to never sell your designs for less than a few $100s, because otherwise you're just undervaluing yourself in my opinion. So for level 1, the counter is still on $0 because we've potentially already made a few $100s. But now the following question is, how do you get paid? Do you need to pay taxes? Do you need to register your business? Let's see how that works. In many countries, you don't have to have a registered business or pay taxes for the first few $1,000s you make. And of course, I cannot give advice for every country. You should Google and see what the rules are in your country. I forgot to do this, so I had to spend a year in jail, but that gave me some time to read some books. That's a joke. So in the beginning, you can just ask your client to send money to your personal bank account directly, or you can create a PayPal address, which is also free by the way, and then let them send the money to your PayPal. On platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, sometimes there's a payment system already built in, so then you don't have to do this. So in the beginning, you don't have to worry about all that paperwork, but there's one paper you need, and that is an invoice, because the businesses you work for will probably ask for an invoice, because otherwise they can't pay you. And you can even do this for free. What I see a lot of people do is they search for a Google Doc invoice template. So on websites like this, you can copy a template, put your own logo in, and then in Google Docs, I will open it so you can see it, make a copy. All right, here's the copy. You can put in all of your info and then you can export that as a PDF and then send it to a client. But I do not really recommend this because there's a much better option which is also free. And that is just to use an invoicing platform. For example, this one, Invoicing Ninja. And they have a free plan, which is pretty good. So if you go to their pricing over here, you can see you can have 20 clients plus unlimited invoicing, 2 templates, you can upload your own logo, all for free. Or a big one also is Zoho. They also have a free plan to create professional invoices. And this is much better because these tools calculate things automatically for you. So for example, how much money you made in a certain period. But also sometimes, like in this other example, squareup.com, which also has an invoicing tool, you can track the status of the payment in real time. So you can connect your bank account to the invoicing tool, and then you can see if your client has paid. So you don't have to open your bank all the time to see if your client has paid. Google Sheets can never do that, so I would highly recommend to use a tool like this. Even if you haven't registered a business, you can just send invoices without tax. So if you have a client that requires an invoice, use a tool like this. It's much easier and the features are just a lot better. So we are still at $0, which is pretty cool because we're making money, we're designing, we're sending invoices, and it looks like a professional big company, and we haven't spent $1. So things are happening in your business. You have a client here, you have a client there, you're making money, but now the next problem occurs, which is chaos. There are so many things going on. This client wants this client wants that, and you all try to save it in your mind. And it slowly is making you stressed and frustrated. So now you are ready for level 2 in your business, which is better management. You're gonna treat this thing like a real business. The truth is that every project is different. Some clients are really easy and some clients are not really easy to work with. But this also means that every project has different tasks. And in order to manage all of that, you need some sort of system to manage all of those tasks. So when I started out, I used Google Sheets. I thought that this was a great idea. I would just put in all the tasks I needed to do for this project, and then I used colors to mark them off when they were done or when I was working on it, and then I would share this link with the client so that the client could see my progress, which I thought would work out as motivation to actually finish it. And most of my clients were already using Google Drive for their photos and for text for the website. So I was like, everything in one package, what's better than that? But there were some problems with this approach. First of all, is that every project had a different sheet, right? Because this sheet was shared with this client, and then I had another sheet for another project. So you don't have an overview of what's going on in your business. But also I couldn't prioritize what was most important today because everything was in a separate list. And another problem is that this sheet was actually better for my client than for me, because some clients can be very demanding, and when you give them the freedom to see your progress, some of them will act like they are your boss. And the reason why I started this is because I wanted to have freedom. But here I was sharing what I did with everyone, and I felt like I now had 10 bosses. So I also wanted to create some distance between what I was doing and the client. They don't have to see everything that you're doing. I mean, some days I just don't work on a project, but some clients just think that you need to work for them every day because they paid you, and it's just a mess. So I just wanted some distance. So I started searching for free project management tool. And the first one that I found was Trello. Trello is super easy. You have columns and you have tasks within those columns. And then you can easily move tasks around. For example, like this, to do, doing, and done. Or like this, you could have a one column per client. And then you can have a card like visual design, feedback, and you can just easily add tasks like this. And then to prioritize what you have to do first, you just click and drag and put it on top. So then you can see what tasks are on top and you can easily decide what you want to do that day. And I love Trello because it's free and it's super simple to use. But I still found myself having a little bit too much chaos. So then I started to look to a more professional tool, which also had a great free plan, still has, which is Asana. And in Asana, you can create projects. So you can create one product per client, and then you can add all the tasks in here. you can assign people to it and you can assign a deadline. So let's say that you want to change the logo tomorrow. You put it on tomorrow, and then if you click on My Tasks over here, you will get all the tasks that you need to do today, or that you need to do tomorrow, or that are already due in the past, which I found worked really good, because you sit down once and you think about what would need to happen now, then you put it in there, and then you don't have to think about it anymore, because you just click on My Tasks and you start working. So that created some peace in my mind. So that's why I like Asana. If you work alone, the free plan is great. I've used this for years without paying. Unlimited tasks, unlimited projects. It's just a super great plan. And if you want complete freedom over your project management tool and you already know what you want and these tools don't give you what you want, I would recommend Notion, because Notion is a tool where you can create your own kind of system. It's super customizable. It's like Elementor Pro, but then for your project management tool, if that makes sense. So you can do anything you want. Like here you have the Trello, you can create a list, you can create projects. So this is like a combination of all, but the learning curve is also a little bit higher, and they have a great free plan as well. So isn't it cool that we now are designing websites with Figma for free, we are sending invoices for free, and now we are managing our projects like a pro for free. So at this point, we've made a few $100s and we are ready for the next level, which is designing and building websites. So until now, we've just done design, but when you can combine designing and building websites, you are a lot more valuable to companies. And this means that you can ask more money for the things you're doing. So now we're going from the hundreds of dollars to the thousands. And not everybody will be able to sell for a few thousand in the beginning. This is of course practicing, but everybody understands that designing and building is more valuable than just designing. But like I said in the beginning, building websites isn't free. But we have already made a few $100s, so we can use that money to invest in a building tool and one other thing, which is hosting. So in order to keep your website live 24/7, you need someone to host your website. This is a company that just keeps your website live 24/7. And of course, you have to pay a little bit for that. And this is just a few dollars per month. You also will need a domain name, which is the name of your website, which will link to the hosting where your website files are. A lot of companies offer domain and hosting in one package so that it's easily and convenient. Domains usually cost around $1 a month and hosting a few dollars, so 4 or 5 or 6. So at this point we have to spend some money, but we can easily make that money back by letting our clients pay for it. Let me explain. So your client needs a website and you have learned how to build and design a website. You watch some tutorials, you know how to do it, and they want a website. Well, why should you pay to keep their website live? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because it's their website at the end of the day. I think that you should get paid for the design part and the building part, so the work that is required to build the whole thing, but I don't think you should pay to maintain and have the website live forever, in the same way as you have to pay for your own domain name and hosting if you want your own website. So you can just tell your clients like, hey, you should buy domain and hosting, and then I can start building the website, because you need hosting and domain in order to start building the website. So let's take a look at an example. For example, Hostinger is a company that has affordable hosting. It's a super nice company and they offer WordPress packages. And as you can see, they have a plan for one website. It's $2 per month if you pay for 4 years, and it's $4 per month after that. And the domain needs to be added. So at least I would say they're paying around $5 per month to have their website live. We're not looking at the discount right now. I'm just looking at the actual prices of the packages. But as you can see, if you pay a little bit more, around $7, you can have 100 websites hosted on this plan. So this means that they are paying around $5 per month to have their website live. But if you would buy the 100 website package and you would charge them $5, for them it wouldn't make a difference. It would actually make it nicer for them, because most clients don't want to mess with hosting. They don't understand what it is. So they are super happy if you manage that. So you could say like, okay, you can buy it yourself or you can buy it through me. You're not gonna pay more and I manage it. And the thing is, when you have 10 clients paying you $5 per month, that is $50 per month, which pays for your website package. You can even easily go to a higher, more performing package. with that money. So it's just much smarter to convince your clients to do that via you so that you make a profit. And the beautiful thing is here that when you have a few clients paying that, then you don't have to pay for your own hosting as well, for your own portfolio website, right? Because at some point you want your own portfolio website and your clients will pay for that. You can use the same trick for your website builder, because right now we just have hosting, we need that, but we also need something to build our website with. For example, Elementor Pro, and they have a 25 website package. So if your client would have paid this individually, they would have paid 59, because Elementor is going to increase the price of the single package, 59, which is around $5 per month. But if you buy it for them, you only need 4 clients to pay for your subscription as well. And then you can use Elementor Pro as well to build your own website. So if you just charge your clients $10, which is exactly the same that they would pay if they had to buy the software themselves, because again, you are not responsible for their monthly cost to keep their website live, you should just get paid for the building and the designing, right? So in this way, you're making profit and your clients pay for your software. And it's a great deal for them because they don't have to mess around with everything they don't understand, and they still pay the same. What I do personally is I charge them $20 per month because I offer a little bit more. I also offer a security plugin, and I have some more advanced plugins that I also buy with this method, and I update their websites each month, so that is also nice for them. So they just pay me $20 per month. And I tell them like, hey, if you would have bought it yourself, it's around, what is it, $15, $16. And for that $4, I would just update your website. And most of them are super happy to do that, because for most businesses, that small amount is nothing. And it's just nice that somebody manages that for them. So be smart, use this method, guys, because you just paid $200 and maybe $100 for the hosting. So the counter is on $300, but after a few clients, it's back at $0. It's great. And by the way, I do have a discount code for Hostinger, which is 10% off. So if you want to get Hostinger and you use the code Living with Pixels at checkout, you will get 10% off your purchase, which of course is nice. The links to this page and the discount is in the description below. I do not have a discount for Elementor Pro, but they just reduced their pricing. This plan originally was around $1,000. It's now $400. So even if you exceed the 25, you can upgrade to this plan, and then you will have $1,000. And that is more than enough for many, many years to come. And as you can see, you only need 7 clients times this amount in order to pay for your big Elementor plan, and only 4 clients to pay for your expert plan. These links are also below, by the way. There is one other option though, which I want to mention. And the reason why I don't recommend Elementor Free is very simple. With Elementor Free, you can only edit the inside of a page, but once you want a menu, a footer, a blog, or any kind of post or a contact form, you will need Elementor Pro. So Elementor Free is more to taste Elementor, but it's not the real deal. I do not recommend to build whole websites with just Elementor Free. And yes, you can use some add-ons, but then you're working with 10 different tools and it becomes a mess. Problems will occur. So everything you need is in Elementor Pro. I think there are some competitors now which are becoming better, but Elementor Pro is still, in terms of features, the best option in the market. For hosting, Hostinger is affordable, but if you want the best of the best for hosting, then I would recommend SiteGround, which is the more premium hosting provider. Super good support and fast, secure. Hostinger, by the way, I've tested it. It's also fast, but SiteGround is like the more premium option. So I also wanted to say that. So let's take a look at the counter. We have invested like $300, but after a few months building a few websites, having a few clients, you already made that money back. So we are back at $0. You see, this business is super low risk to start still. Let's now go to level 4, which is making your life a little bit easier. So you've used these methods and you've started to make a few $1,000s, and now you're like, okay, the costs are not that high. I know, let's just invest to make my life a little bit easier. And then the first thing that I would recommend for you to invest in is a password manager, because you're dealing with passwords all the times for your accounts, for your client accounts, and you want a solid option. 1Password, in my experience, is the best. I've already tested 3 different platforms and I think 1Password is really good. And the interface is just really nice. It also has an app. You can log in with Face ID. The pricing, you should click on personal and family, is $3 a month. I have this package, so not that expensive as well. It's just a nice professional upgrade for your business. The next thing I would recommend, like I already said, is security, because you're dealing with WordPress websites, and WordPress websites are not the most safe websites there are on the planet. Like if you want a 100% secure website, you should have something that doesn't have a login, right? That is something you can achieve with coding, for example. So there are security threats. That's just the case. In my experience, my client websites have been hacked 2 times now, actually 3, I think, in the last all of those years. So it's not that bad. When it happened 2 times, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna invest in a security plugin to make the risk lower for that to happen. There are all kinds of features in a security plugin to make it safer. For example, you can hide the login page because bots, but also hackers will try to get into your website by going to the login page, because every login page of each WordPress website is the same. It's just a domain name /wp-admin. So you can hide that. It auto blocks people that are trying to log in too many times. And I still need to make a video on this, which I want to do. But for now, all I can say is that it lowers your risk of getting hacked. I have learned, by the way, that hosting is also really important when it comes to security. I didn't know that, but a good hosting provider also keeps out most of the threats. So you are lowering the risk with a plugin like this, which is, by the way, the second biggest security plugin on WordPress. So that's also pretty safe. But do not buy some kind of weird hosting company in some country or some friend who has a server. It's nice, but it's not that safe for your clients. So you should, I think, take some responsibility in that and pick a hosting company that is worldwide, that is good, something like SiteGround or Hostinger, to already avoid the risks. So this is $199. They also increased their pricing, which of course I'm not a fan of, but it is what it is. It's $299. That is the price per year. So divide that by 10 and then by 12, and it's around $2.50 per month per website. You also have another big plugin, which is WordFence, which is actually the biggest security plugin on WordPress. But this is also not the cheapest one. And from my experience, this slows down your website a bit. So that's why I prefer iThemes, even though it has become more expensive, because back in the day, this plan was for unlimited. So people who have bought it before, that's smart. But security is important. So this is a step you take when you are already on another level. And then the last upgrade, which I think you should make when you care about your time, is a new laptop. Yes, I know, that's not why you clicked this video. And I know that a lot of our tools are in the browser, so you might think that it doesn't make a big difference. But when I switch to a new MacBook, oh Lord, even YouTube.com was faster. It's unbelievable. And why I recommend Apple is because with their new chips, it's not that expensive anymore. I know Apple has this image that it's super expensive, and yes, that is true for many of their products, but for the new MacBooks and all their normal computers, it's actually not that expensive because they don't run on Intel chips anymore. They now have their own chips, which are M1 and M2, and therefore you can get a MacBook for around $1,200, which is super fast. So the MacBook that I have is the MacBook Pro, and then the 14-inch, and then the Pro Max. But I have that because I create videos, right? And I want to render the videos fast, and that's why I have a good MacBook. But for most people, I would recommend the MacBook Air. And why a MacBook and not a computer? Well, because you can take that laptop and go to a meeting, to a client, which I do sometimes. And when you have a computer, that's not possible. Sometimes you just want to hook it up to a monitor and show what you've done. So that's why I recommend the MacBook Air with the M1 chip or the M2 chip. As you can see, it's around $1,000 or $1,200 for the basic version, but that is more than enough for our browser work. Okay. So this business model, as you can see, is quite low risk. You can make a lot of money by using the method of letting your clients pay for your software. But I don't want to paint a picture that you should go in this because it's low risk and you just want to make money. Because I think there are too many people in this market that are just here to get money. But if you don't have a passion for design, then I would not recommend to go into this because you're gonna spend a lot of time designing, and if you don't enjoy that, then I don't think you can produce good work. So the passion is also really important, but showing that this is accessible and a really good business model even for beginners, I think is important. So if you want to get started with web design, you should check out my channel because this is what my channel is all about. I'm starting to make Figma videos. I have a lot of videos about Elementor Pro. So check out my channel and the video description if you want to learn more. And then for now, I want to thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in another video on Living with Pixels.